Wow, Derek, you're up early today. Wow, Angela, you're up early too. It's early for me. Yo.
Okay, the sounds of the sensational lights out of Dillon, North Carolina Rising. Let's go home. Gonna switch over to Studio B and say good morning to you, Brother Michael Jenkins, Sports Talk. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone out there. I guess this is really good morning now, huh, Tater?
Yes, sir.
How about hooking me up over there, buddy?
Okay.
Well, welcome to the early morning version of PD Sports Wrap. If I were to say that it wasn't a task getting myself here this morning, it would not be true. But nevertheless, I am feeling pretty good right now. And I'm going to try to bring you what's been going on this week and what's going to happen next week as well as we head into the playoff. Marion finished their season on Thursday night, as did Mullins and Creek Bridge. Marion played Dillon, they lost. Mullins lost a tough one to undefeated Carvers Bay. Mullins was undefeated at the time as well. Creek Bridge looked like they gave a good effort against Hemingway, but they also came up short. But before I read you the scores from Thursday and Friday night, I want you to hear an interview that I had after the game, a little quick interview with Nate Johnson, who is the head football coach at Carvers Bay, who's in his last year, by the way. But Nate had some interesting things to say as he heads into retirement.
Coach Johnson, how you feeling? Talking with Coach, can I do a quick interview with you? Yes, sir. Coach Johnson from Carvers Bay High School. That's a big win for you guys tonight. Oh, yes, sir. When we came in, and they were stepping in. They was no joke about how good they were. And they was good. They came in, and I knew they would give us the A game, and they did. It wasn't no slouching. Those guys came to hit us in the line, and we had to respond. If we did that, I mean, they would have ran over us on the freight train. So all my respects go to them. And I think they're going to be a worthy opponent down the line. They're good. What do you think turned the game for you tonight? Well, I think the turnovers did. Okay. The turnovers really turned the tide. We got the turnovers in good position, and our kids got to realize we were behind for a change. We haven't done that in a long, long time. I've never done that. So they out here, they kind of show that they lift themselves up. They, once they got interception, everything's going to roll from there. The kids, they got themselves back up, and they start playing ball like they should. This is your last year. Yes, sir. And you're going out with an undefeated regular season. How does that feel so far? It feels great. It feels great. But, it's like I always tell them, it's one game at a time. Right. And we always prepare for the last game. Right. Our last game, we always want to be somewhere else at home. Right. Great game, Coach. Hey, great job. Great job.
And then Naeem McFadden grabbed him after I was done. And but Nate Johnson, one of the nicest people I've met in my travels in this local sports thing. Great guy. Been with Carvers Bay for years and years. Pretty sure he's got a lot to show for his efforts as well, state championships. And here he is again on the precipice of possibly getting back and winning another one in his final season. So it was all good for Carvers Bay for the most part. Mullins, on the other hand, They had an opportunity to maybe even win this game the other night, but timely miscues cost them. Also, Xavier Leggett, their quarterback, was hurt at some point during the game. I think it was maybe the early second half, and he was not able to continue. But this kid, number 18, I don't have the rosters in front of me, but the quarterback who replaced him, number 18, throws a beautiful ball. And he threw one over the middle, man, that was just like textbook. And Mullins was able to get that into the end zone. I believe that another thing that really hurt Mullins was when the second half began, when they gave the ball to Carver's Bay for the first time, they elected to kind of squib kick it. And that squib kick ended up on the other side of midfield, Carver's Bay ball. I don't think it was 2 or 3 plays later when Carver's Bay marched it right into the end zone for the touchdown. And I think that was a turning point. Nate also mentioned the other turn. They had an early one. They had a interception in the early, I want to say in the second quarter or late first, because I was just getting to the game then. And that also cost them. Carver's Bay is a scrappy bunch. They're going to be a tough out, as is Mullins. Because of the win, Carver's Bay gets a number 1 seed, and they play at home. Mullins, by virtue of them being the finishing second in the conference, they will get a number 2 seed, and they'll also have a home game. But after that, they're going to have to hit the road. But here are some scores from Thursday and Friday. The Mullins final was Carver's Bay 30, Mullins 20, and Mullins scored a late touchdown to kind of make it a little bit more respectable because Carver's Bay was up 30-14. Georgetown shut out Waccamaw 41-0. Crestwood over Darlington 47-7. It's been a dreadful season for the Darlington Falcons. Hartsville 70, Myrtle Beach 34. East Clarendon nipped Andrews in an upset 34-32. North Myrtle Beach 12-0 over Marlborough County. Dillon 49, Marion 6. So Marion ends its season at, I want to say 1-7, something like that. Johnsonville got hammered by Hannah Pamplico 50-24. Latta nipped Kingstree 27-22. They'll be in the playoffs. Actually, both of those teams will be in the playoffs. Marion will not. Hemingway 34, Creek Bridge 6. Creek Bridge will also not be in the playoff. Carolina Forest 35-7 over Socastee. South Florence beat St. James 35-6. Friday's games: West Florence 26, Conway 13. Lake City got beat by Loris 32-24. We're looking at Aner over Cheraw 48-43. I think Cheraw ends the conference schedule winless. Green Sea Floyds beat McBee 68-0. Lumberton 34, Purnell Sweat 21. And they got some games that's going to be played today. Scotland County will play Richmond County today at 6 p.m. Fairmont will play Robeson County Monday at 6:30. Spartanburg Christian got beat by PD Academy. That's right down the road from here, 48-20. Florence Christian 49-19 over Hilton Head Prep. Carolina Academy 42-22 over Colleton Prep. And Trinity Burns beat Orangeburg Prep by a score of 34-7. These are gonna be the final polls, as it were, for the before the playoffs start. Just want to give you a rundown of who's where right now. In the Class 4A, number 1 is South Point, followed by Greer, Hartsville, Myrtle Beach, Daniel, Ridgeview, Wren, Belton Honea Path. Greenville is 9. Lancaster is 10, followed by York, North Augusta, Westwood, Marlborough County, AC Flora, Brooklyn Casey. East Side is number 17. Airport is number 18. North Myrtle Beach, Walhalla, South Aiken, Wilson, Beaufort, Travelers Rest, and Bluffton round out the top 25. And that's going to be in Class 4A. Class 3A. Chapman, the team that played against Dillon last year in the state finals, actually the last 2 years, is currently ranked number 1 in the state according to Max Prep. Chester is number 2. Dillon is 3. Then you have Woodruff, Union County, Camden, May River, Indian Land, Gilbert, Pendleton, Strom Thurmond, Southside, Newberry, Aner, Seneca. Broome comes in at 16, followed by Emerald, Hanahan, Wade Hampton, Fairfield Central. Manning is at 21. Crescent is number 22, and then Loris, Liberty, and Clinton round out the top 25 in Class 3A. Class 2A, top-ranked team, Abbeville, followed by Southside Christian, Barnwell. Carvers Bay is number 4. Mullins is number 5. Then Bamberg, Earhart, 96, Saluda, Timberland, Hannah Pamplico, Landrum, Andrews, Silver Bluff, Oceanside Collegiate, North Central is number 15. And then you have Batesburg, Leesville, Central Pageland, Woodland, Blacksburg, Whale Branch, Andrew Jackson, St. Joseph, and Latta comes in at number 25. Single A's, and this is where the PD area is very well represented. Top ranked, Lamar Silver Foxes, followed by Lakeview Wild Gators, and then Wagner Sally, Green Sea Floyds, Blackfield Hilda, Dixie, Baptist Hill. Hemingway is number 8. St. John's is number 9. Ridge Spring Monetta, Timmonsville, C.E. Murray, Mac B comes in at 13. They got hammered just the other day by Green Sea. Bethune Bowman is 14. Williston Elko 15. Then you have Whitmire, Denmark Olar, Branchville, Scotts Branch, Hunter Kennard Tyler, Great Falls is 21, followed by McCormick, Estill, Military Magnet, and Cross is the 25th team in the single A. Top 25. Trying to get through it, y'all. 20 minutes are gone. When I'm sucking the wind already. I'm up a little early for me. Usually I'm probably out of bed maybe 9:30 or 10 on the Saturday, but with the new schedule now, I have to get my act together a little bit earlier. And I see that a lot of you folks are up early too. Wow. Leo Phillips, Jocelyn Smith, Angela Lamar White, Dia Chess. I need y'all support today. The playoffs start this coming week. And as I said, Mullins is, wow, look what Tater did for me, y'all. My man. You saw me sucking the wind, didn't you?
Yeah, that's good. We got me.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna do my Lewis Black routine on here with this water. Water has been no. But it's been a good season for Mullins, and actually an outstanding season for Mullins. So hats off to the Mullins Auctioneers football team and coaching staff for doing a great job this year. I mean, you went undefeated all the way to the last game of the season, and then you got beat by another undefeated team. So that's great. Now we're moving on to the playoff. Now it gets really, really serious now because it's a one-and-done situation. It comes down to how good are you really going forward? How do you stack up against the state's best teams? And I think it's a good barometer of who's the best team when it's all over and done with. In single A, some teams are getting buys because I guess because of the number of single A teams that they have in the state. You're looking at Dixie, Blackfield Hilda, Lamar, Wagner Sally, Baptist Hill, C.E. Murray, Bethune, and Lakeview. All those teams are going to get first-round buys. With that said, that means they only have to win 1, 2, 3, 4 games to consider themselves state championship or to be considered state champions. So, without further ado, Class A football first round. Upper State, and don't ask me why Timmonsville is in the Upper State. I never could figure that out. They flip-flop certain teams, and I guess it's also a matter of number of teams available in a classification. So Timminsville is a 3 seed, and they will play a first-round game at home against Ridge Spring Monetta. MACB is a number 2 seed. They will play against Ware Shoals, who is a number 4. You're looking at McCormick is a number 3. They will host Williston Elko, a 4. Whitmire is a number 2. They're at home, and they will host Estill, a number 5. That's in the upper state. In the lower state, Military Magnet will be a 3 seed, and they will host Branchville, also a 3 seed. Don't ask. Green Sea Floyd is a number 2, and they will, as I said, they get a bye in the first round. Hemingway is a 3. They will face off against Scotts Branch, who's a 4, and St. John's will play Charleston Math and Science, and the winner comes to Lakeview and have their season in the swamp. Now, I can't say it's going to be ended, but usually you come down to Lakeview in a second round game, chances are your season's going to be over. Looking at the Class 2A, and in the upper state, Southside Christian is a 1. They will play against Silver Bluff, a 5. 96 is a 2. They will play against number 4, Chesterfield. Beaufort is a 1. They will play against C.A. Johnson. Blacksburg is a 3. They will face off against a fellow number 3, Saluda, and that game will be in Blacksburg. Abbeville is a number 1, and they will play number 5, Andrew Jackson. North Central is a number 2. They will play against St. Joseph's. That's a 2 and a 4. Columbia High School will play against Batesburg-Leesville. Batesburg-Leesville is a 4. Columbia is a 2. Then you have number 2, Landrum versus Central, and those are your upstate. In the lower state, Timberland is a 1. They will play against number 6, Kingstree. And there is no number 6s in the upstate. Oh, by the way, there's only number 6s. Let me see. Yeah, there's only a number 6 in the lower state. I guess, again, it's probably because of school numbers. But as I said, Timberland and Kingstree down there in the woods. If you've never been down to Timberland, I tell you, be prepared for the deer and the antelope, because we're talking woods here. It's about 8 or 9 miles from St. Stephen's, and from St. Stephen's to that school, it's the wilderness. I'm telling you. So be very careful. The roads are very dark if you happen to want to go down to the Timberland High School. But it's a fun place to see a game. Mullins, number 2, will play and host Woodland, a number 3. Barnwell is a 1. They will play Andrews, a 4. Burke is a number 3. They will play against a fellow number 3, Calhoun County. Gray Collegiate, I think this is their first time in the high school playoff situation, public schools anyway. They will play against Latta, and Latta will have to go to Columbia for that game. Bamberg-Earhart is a 2. Hannah Pamplico is a 3. Carvers Bay, a number 1, will play against Garrett, a 4. And Oceanside Collegiate is a 2, and they will host Whale Branch. These games all on November 9th, which is next Friday. Looking on to the Class 3A, Upper State, Chapman, a 1, will play against Emerald. You have, and some of these are incomplete because they got a Region 1, number 2 versus Camden, and Camden's in the Upper State now. Go figure. Union County will play against Chesney. That's a 1 and a 4. And then you got some more. You got Indian Land, a 2 versus a Region 1, number 3. And then you got a Region 1, number 3 against Fairfield Central. And then you have Southside, a number 2, will play against Newberry. Chester, a 1, will play against Region 1, number 4. Woodland is a 2. They will host Broome, a 3. In the lower state, Region 6, number 1 versus Ridgeland Hardyville, a 4. I don't know who Region 6, number 1 is, or is that Dillon? Yeah, Dillon. So Dillon will host Ridgeland Hardyville. It will be Dillon's sacrificial lambs, I guess. Manning, at number 2, will play against Swansea at 3. May River and Region 6, number 4 will face off. Gilbert, a 2 versus Georgetown, a 3. And then you have Hanahan, a 1 versus Pelion, a 4. Region 6, number 2, I want to say that's Aner, will play against Battery Creek. Strom Thurmond, a 1 versus Bishop England, a 4. Wade Hampton, a number 2 versus Region 6, number 3. And I want to say that is Loris, but don't hold me to it. Class 4A, Upper State, Belton Honea Pass versus Westwood. Ridgeview versus Travelers Rest. Pickens versus Greer. Orangeburg Wilkinson versus York. South Point versus Walhalla. Daniel versus Eastside. AC Flora versus Lancaster. Greenville versus Wren. In the Lower State, Region 5, number 1 versus, says Lower State at large. Lower Richland, number 2 versus Colleton County. Number 6, Region 6, number 1 versus Lower State at large. Buford, number 2 versus Region 5, number 4. Bluffton, number 1 versus Lower State at large. Well, anyway, so this is incomplete. You get the picture. It probably is completed right now, but because some of those games probably were played last night. And then this one is the Class 5A. TL Hanna versus Spartanburg. Boiling Springs will face off against Northwestern. Dorman versus Greenwood. Nation Ford versus Blythewood. Rock Hill versus Lawrence. Gaffney versus Woodmont. Sumter will play Upper State at large. Oh, Sumter's in the Upper State this year. Wow. They flip-flop all the time, man. It's crazy. Westwood will play against Burns. In the Lower State, almost none of this is complete, but they've got the regions here and who they're going to play and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to read all those. Lower State at large will play Region 6, whatever. This is not complete. So the playoffs begin, and the quest for a state crown is ready to take off. Be interesting to see what happens. I wanted to go the other night to watch Dillon play because I have not seen them for a while. Maybe only on TV last year in the state championship. And the year before that, only on TV in the state championship. So I would like to see them in person. My children's little cousin over there at Dillon's the quarterback. He's an outstanding player. Dillon has a great team. And I would like to see them before they get to the final this year. And I think I will go over there next week to check them out. But this week I had to go to Mullins. Mullins had a decent crowd. The band back and forth between Mullins Band and Carver's Bay Band was fun to watch and listen to. Carver's Bay people came to have fun, and they came to win. And they had fun because that visitor side over there was jumping all night long. It was really fun to watch. Let's see. Scores last night. State rankings. We've done all these things. Well, the basketballs were thrown out last week. And I didn't want to stray far from home yet, but I did roll over to Marion High School gym a couple times this year. As right now, they're probably in there. They're going to have their final cut probably today. So a lot of cats might have to come back next year and try it again. Marion's team is going to be good this year again. Marion has an outstanding coach who totally knows what he's doing. He's got a lot of guards, not a lot of big people, but I think he's got enough length and enough long people where as a high school, I don't think this is going to be a big problem for them yet. I think they have enough length and enough size coupled with the style of play that they're coming with this year, which is like off the hook press from off the bus till back on the bus. That's what they're planning this year. So yesterday I'm watching them run and stretch and get themselves in shape. Those guys are getting run to death out there. Reverend Benny is the conditioning and strength coach. Benny Davis. Yeah, Reverend Benny Davis is the guy. And Benny loves seeing guys hanging out. He loves it. He runs them and he runs them and he runs them, but he's going to run them right into shape. And that's what they're going to need to be this year if they are going to be able to neutralize folks with their quickness and their depth at guard for the most part. It's going to be interesting. They have a scrimmage coming up this week, actually. So if you want to take a little quick peek, a little early look at Swamp Fox boys basketball team, varsity and JV, it will be on display Tuesday at Wilson High School. JV and varsity boys, 5 p.m. at Wilson High School. So you might want to go over there and check that out. And if you don't want to check that out, on the 15th of November, they're going to be in a jamboree. And that jamboree is over at Carvers Bay High School. I think I went to that last year. Very exciting. So it's basketball season, y'all. Last night I was up a little bit late. See, when you like the Warriors and they're playing home games on the West Coast, and those games come on at 10 o'clock, you're going to be up to 1 and change. I probably got to bed at 2 o'clock last night, or to sleep, up watching the Warriors. It's kind of odd that I know that I'm not the only one up watching it, because the Warriors haters are also up watching it. How do I know? Because when the game is over, and usually after the Warriors win, they'll be lamenting, expletive, 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 those guys won again. They have not fully grasped just how good the Warriors are and have been. I tried to tell them. They keep betting, and I don't mean betting, but I mean they keep putting their chips on teams other than the Warriors. But I understand it. People don't like people who win all the time. You notice that? Just like the Patriots. Who likes the Patriots? I don't know 2 Patriots fans, but I know a lot of people who hate the Patriots, myself included. So why should I be surprised that the Warriors are despised? Why should I be surprised that Steph Curry is despised? Why should I be surprised that KD is, or Kevin Durant? People get sick of people winning all the time. So now the Warriors have won 3 of the last 4 NBA championships. And it looks like they have a very good chance of doing that again. The natives are not happy. I have this sports group here, and every day it's a battle royal in there. See, because you have the LeBron fans who will go anywhere and and be a fan of any team that he's on. Now I've watched some of these guys in here, and I love them all to death. But some of these same guys who are now claiming that they are Laker fans were the same guys who were LeBron James fans in Miami, LeBron James fans in Cleveland, and now they're LeBron James fans in Los Angeles. But, it's a very, very, you ever heard this thing about strange bedfellows? You got a lot of Laker fans who are in the group who are not supporters of LeBron James. And now LeBron is on their team. Some of them are happy about it. Some of them are not so happy about it. But it's still an interesting mix. Me, myself, as people say, wherever LeBron James goes, that's the team I'm rooting against. I've kind of made it a mission of mine too. And it's more than anything else, it's those fans who are so unrealistic about what this guy could do And you look at what's happening in Los Angeles right now with the coach being on the hot seat, but that's not anything new. Wherever LeBron goes, people are going to get fired, okay? Coaches are going to get fired. Players are going to get put on the road. That's just the way it is, because it all has to work to fit into his ultimate agenda, which is his entitlement, his sense of entitlement to win championships. But the Warriors have put a big block on that, haven't they? Anyway, that's about all I got right now. I want to thank Tater this morning for the water. You did this, man.
Yeah, man.
I got to take a little sip, one more sip before I get off here.
There you go.
And I want to thank you people for being here today. And we'll try this again next week. So get out and watch a little basketball practice this week. And, of course, support Mullins football and other local football programs around here that are going to be in the playoffs. So I did it. First week at 8:30. I'm back in the house, back in the bed. See y'all later. Peace.
AY
Very good, man.
South Carolina and OVU 252BL FM 98.3 Mullins, Marion, South Carolina, USA.
It's just like 5.